Alright, so I've been sitting here just kind of messing with it. I pull a lot of the spark plugs out, just watching the pistons. I'm just kind of spraying PB blaster in each one. Just watching it push the transmission fluid, PB blaster mix out of each plug hole. Just knowing where the piston is. It's starting to move pretty further than what it was. I guess it's easier with the ratchet because, well, I had a long breaker bar one time and I broke it on a locked up engine, so I haven't bought another one. You don't like standing there, do you? If we can break through that rust, we be in good shape. I know this one right here is ready to rock. Yeah, it is full. That one's full. I think that's the one that I hit the first time. It sprayed all the fluid out of it. Of course, if the rings free up, or if the rings are stuck, transmission fluid and stuff will go down between them and the cylinder walls and go straight to the crankcase. I think it's getting further than what it was. You just have to be patient, work with them. That piston there is definitely going down. Kind of relube them all, except for that one because it's full. All right, so the last cylinder, I filled up the plug hole. I think that's number, let's see, be 1, 3, what's that? Is it 4? No, 1, 3, 5, 6. No, 1, 3, 5, 7. So number 5, I filled up that plug hole. What I did, I tilted the motor on the side and I let the transmission fluid fill up the whole cylinder. I rolled the piston around to the bottom and it filled it all the way up. And I put some oil in it. We're starting to get oil pressure because we're starting to get oil spraying out of our rocker arms. So now it's just time to see, did all that pay off? Do we have compression on number 5? So I tilted the motor back over and got all the transmission fluid out. I've been making such a mess out here, but trying to get this engine where we can run it. So let's see what kind of compression we got. This is our last cylinder. So everything's hooked up. Battery cable. And we're still dropping. Don't know what it is. It's trying to come around. I think the rings are just barely stuck, but we got a lot of oil pressure though. It's shooting oil all the way over there from this push rod. I got oil dripping everywhere. You know what? I'm just gonna stick it in and run it. It's trying to hold compression. I think heat will probably heat those rings up and free them. I don't think they're broke. I say we stick it in. We got 7 out of 8 that's working. I believe once we get it in, get some heat, maybe it'll free that ring up and thing probably run all right. Because we know we got oil pressure now, because it's spraying out of the rockers. But it pumps up. There it is. It's at 100 now. It's almost like there's a ring that's sticking and unsticking. It's weird, unless it's a valve that's not closing all the way, but I don't know. We're gonna run it. Oh man, maybe it's more transmission fluid in there. We got all on the camera. I don't know what's going on. I say we stick it in there and run it. I got covered with transmission fluid. Camera got transmission fluid. So let's just do that. What's going on, guys? So we are back with the Chevy C10, the long wheelbase. If you haven't seen the first video on it, I suggest you go watch it. Last video I was playing around with a couple of engines. One of them was locked up. We got it freed up. The other engine had a below head gasket full of milky, watery oil. So we was able to get the other engine freed up. One cylinder was kind of in and out of compression. So I don't know if it's rings or maybe a valve haven't seated yet, but I decided just to go ahead and clean that engine up, do a lot of things to it, and get it ready to go in and see can we get this old truck back here running. So I'm going to show you the engine, what I've been doing to it, and up under the engine bay on the truck, and we'll go from there. So this is the motor that was locked up, and what we did to it was just clean it off real good, pressure washed it. I went through it and replaced all the gaskets. It's got a new front seal for the timing cover. It's got a new rear main seal for the back of the engine, and got a new distributor, HEI distributor on it. Of course, we already had the new spark plug wires. New air filter, L-block air filter. Got a reman L-block. I think this is a 650, 600, I think. Carburetor. It's on the tag. It is a 600. This was built by Secondhand Power Speed Shop here in Memphis. They rebuild carburetors and they sell them, and they got all kind of speed parts. So if you in Memphis and you look for some old school or new school hot rod parts, swing by Secondhand Power. I'll put their address and stuff on the screen. So yeah, I went through the engine, cleaned it up, new valve cover gaskets, all new gasket seals. I didn't change the water pump. The bearings felt good in it, so I didn't change it. So if it started leaking, I mean, these are so easy to change. We can pop one on there. So with the engine bay here, ooh, this new gimbal, went through, pressure washed it real good, did a little sanding and cleaning up on everything, and got it painted with some tractor black spray paint that Krylon makes now. It's impelliment paint, so it lays down real good and it sticks really quick. I mean, it It really sticks good, and it's on there. I mean, it's not like that cheap dollar store spray paint, but I was able to get it all cleaned up and did some wire work. Went through, fixed all the wires, made this wire loom for the harness that goes across behind the engine and over to the junction box. There was a lot of wires that was eaten by mice because this truck's set up for a long time outside. I haven't fixed them yet. A couple wires here that's chewed. These go to like the headlights. So I got a couple wires down here I gotta go through and repair. But my main goal now is to get this engine in there and start hooking everything up. I'm just gonna run this thing without the radiator and stuff hooked up, just like we did with the last motor when we tried to crank it. And I just want to hear it run. So if I can hear it run, we get that cylinder, do some heat cycles, get that one cylinder to free up. Then we'll go through, put the radiator and fan and all that stuff. Then we'll run some water through it and get it up to temperature and make sure there's no leaky head gaskets and stuff like that. But I believe this engine's been built. After going through it, this engine, I think it was like a reman engine. I mean, it's really clean. It has a couple of markings on it that wasn't from GM. So I think this engine came out of a Chevy Impala is what he said, I think. But anyway, we're gonna get this bad boy in there, and hopefully this thing turns out to be a good motor. If not, he's prepared to buy a real good motor. But he had these laying around, that other Vortec motor and this one. So that Vortec motor we know had overheating issues. It was full of milky oil, so that means blow head gasket or something. This one right here just sat outside and the cover blew off of it, and it locked up. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead, get this thing off the engine stand. The carburetor is just sitting on there. I'm gonna go ahead and bolt it down. I basically want to put the starter. I got a new starter for it, so I basically want to put a new starter on it. And ooh, this gimbal. Put a new starter on it. Had the starter already on it because we got to run the headers because it had headers on it. So the headers are really rusty. I'm gonna try and clean them off. I got some high temp header paint to put on it. But at least if I drop it in with the starter, all that's all bolted up. Just got to run the wires to it. I got to take the spark plugs out because, you know, headers don't like going over spark plugs when you're trying to stick them up from the bottom. So, and all that good stuff. So anyway, I am going to get this thing on the engine picker, motor remover, cherry picker. Get it all set up. We'll scoot it on in there. going on, guys? So I got the engine in, of course. I had to go back through the wiring harness and find the wires that connect to the alternator. The mice had chewed off this pigtail, and the main wire that goes on back of the alternator was gone. So I had to go back through the wiring harness, trace it from the junction box, that circuit breaker connector thingy there, and run all the way down and go buy one of these connectors and wire that up. Got the new starter on down there. Motor's nice and tight. So what I did earlier today, I got the headers all cleaned up. They were really rusty, really dirty. Pressure washed them, wire brushed them and everything. Got some high temp header paint on them, so they're looking nice. Got the battery box painted. So the next thing is to put the headers on, because they got to slide up from the bottom. Then I'm gonna put the spark plugs in, put the new distributor cap and wires back on. I gotta hook up a fuel system, put the fuel pump in. You gotta have the fuel pump in it anyway if you're not gonna run it, because the oil comes spraying out. And hopefully this thing will fire up. We're running on a couple of heat cycles, like I said, and hopefully all the cylinders come around. This thing run good. We can start putting the radiator and the fan, power steering pump, put all that back on, and hook the throttle linkage and all that up, and check the brakes. So got a little bit more to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these headers in there. I'll bring y'all back once I got everything up here, and we'll do the first start. So it's about almost 1 o'clock in the morning. I gotta get up to go to work. I'm not fortunate like some YouTubers that do YouTube for a living. Anyway, I've been plugging away on this thing. I got the carburetor all set up. I got the distributor all hooked up. I was trying to see over in there what all we got. We got the spark plug wires on. I got the distributor wired up. Got the headers on. Got the spark plugs back in. Got a temporary oil pressure gauge set up, so when we fire this thing up, we'll be able to see the oil pressure. I know it's got oil pressure because when I was turning it over on the engine stand, it was spitting oil out everywhere. I'm going to hook up this temp gauge. I got to get the fitting that goes into the thermostat housing. Either I'm going to put it in the thermostat housing, or I'm going to pop out one of these plugs, put the temp gauge so we can know how hot it's getting, so we can shut it down if it runs good, and put our radiator and stuff in. But like I say, everything is basically hooked up. So I'll come back tomorrow after work, put the fuel pump in down there in the block. I got to block off this, well, got to run a hose from this front of the carburetor over to the PVC valve. Not going to block it off. I got to block off this other vacuum port on the carburetor. This one goes to the distributor advance. So then after that, we should be ready to fire it up. So fingers crossed this thing cranks and runs good, and we can go ahead and button it up and he can get it, start doing something with it. So until tomorrow. Alright guys, it's the time y'all all been waiting for. Finally get to crank this thing up. I had a few setbacks. The brand new starter that I put in it, after I hooked all the electrical up, hit the key, starter wouldn't say nothing. So I got to redoing some of the wires going to it, and Still, starter wouldn't say nothing. So, went down there, took the starter out, hooked it to a battery. Come to find out, that brand new starter is no good. So I end up putting the old starter back in. I need to turn that distributor a little bit. I might just need to get over in here because I can't work on it like this. I can't reach, I'm short. This is awkward. But I'm where I need to be. Trying to move the wires. Stupid distributor. I mean, timing gun. Light don't want us to out of the way. Oh, great. Now I gotta go crank the car. Okay. Okay, now we're back. What is going on here? Move the distributor now, I don't want to crank. I don't know what's going on here, folks. I don't know what's up with that starter. All that clicking and clacking. Well, I even still got juice. Yeah, I still got voltage. I just don't understand what's going on. The timing light's lighting up wherever it is. I think it's flooding it. I think that carburetor's junk. Yeah, that carburetor's, it's just flooding the engine full of gas. Rebuilt carburetor, my booty. That carburetor's flooding bad. That's what the problem is. I might have to end up taking that carburetor off, and you're going to take that back. Woo! Almost lost my eyebrows. We gotta go that way. Dial it up some. We close. It's like I need about 10 hands. It runs. And it sounds pretty good. And her car door locked. And I can't get in it to cut it off. Great. So let me go find her spare key because I'm locked out of her car, and we'll take a look at what just blew out of the tailpipe. All right, so finally got the radiator in here. I got the hoses all hooked up. Went through, did some more tidying up. I had an exhaust gasket leak. Hopefully, after I tightened up the header bolts over there, that went away. Those headers always leak. I mean, you have to constantly keep tightening the bolts up to get that header gasket to seat in. Then after a while, you won't have no problems out of it. Some people say get the paper ones and soak them in water or something, and then put them on the block, put the headers on. I've never tried it. I got some metal ones on here. They seem to last longer, I guess. But anyway, I just got to put some coolant in it. I'm actually going to fill it up full of water first, so that way if we got a coolant leak or something, or a leak, we won't be wasting antifreeze for no reason. But anyway, I'm gonna go turn the key on and let's fill it up and see what happens. I might be able to just reach in here and crank it. Let me hook the fuel pump up. It hadn't been started since we did the first start on it. So I'm gonna try it at the key first. There you have it. Still got an exhaust leak. I think it's down at the collector. Let me sounds like it's down at the flange down there. Let me see if I can tighten up on that last bolt. If not, I'm probably gonna have to go up under the truck and tighten up down there at the header where it goes to the pipe. I got a spark plug wire that's hanging. I can't stand headers sometimes. I mean, they cool and all, they give you more horsepower sometimes, but you got to keep your spark plug wires all out of the way, and I mean, it's a job. I'd rather just have regular old manifolds sometimes. Let me see if I can tighten this last bolt. The headers didn't have any rust holes or nothing in them, but sometimes you don't get the header lined up, I mean the gasket lined up with the header, it'll make an exhaust leak. But we're gonna run it. We just want to make sure that the cooling system is good. Oh. I think my fuel pump came out of the gas. Yep. Tripped over the hose. Oh, the choke is sticking. I gotta fix that. What's up with that? I think I got an oil leak. Temperature's not up though. Can't tell if it's oil or transmission fluid. Oh. Transmission line's leaking. Might be loose at the transmission. Still got an exhaust leak. Got to figure out where that's coming from. Somewhere over here. Other than that, it's running. Got a little poppity pop. Sounds good though. Dial it down some. I don't know why this choke is sticking. Gotta adjust it. Got a vacuum leak. One vacuum leak. Where it runs, I can't get it to idle down, and it's got a transmission leak. As soon as I put some transmission fluid in, it starts leaking, but the transmission line has been spliced in two, and they got one of those union fittings in between the two lines. So yeah, it does run. That's a good thing. That choke, I adjusted it. It's electric choke. I got the wire hooked up to it, but it's still holding the choke closed. So I gotta do something with that. Other than that, it's not leaking any coolant, water or anything. Sounds real throaty. The temperature, it's not up there, 180. That's pretty good. It got oil pressure. So I got to get under there, fix that transmission line, and also adjust that. I think the choke is sticking. It's got the throttle, because I got the screw backed all the way out, and it still won't idle down. It's not high, and I got an exhaust leak over here on the header somewhere. So let me do some tidying up on that stuff, and then we'll fire it up again. And like I said, I'm waiting on the shift linkage to come that goes from the transmission to the rod coming off of the steering column. So I can't put it in gear, I can't move it or anything. So anyway, let me get up under there, fix that leak and some other stuff, and we'll fire it up again. So I was sitting here running the truck and started hearing water hit the ground over here, and the heater core busted and started leaking water down the toe board. Man, there's an ant's nest in there too. Ooh, they're gonna be inside of the heater box. It's running down, 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 straight out the door. So that sucks. I kind of figured it was gonna need a heater core because when these trucks sit up for a long time, people run water, straight water or bad antifreeze, and it eats that heater core up just sitting. So in order to do the heater core, I got to take this whole entire box off where the blower motor goes. It's a bunch of bolts and nuts that go around. I think you have to pull the inner fender, I'm not sure. But you pull that box off, and inside there's the heater core and your evaporator core for the air conditioning. You can see, the hoses right here coming out, going around. One of them goes to the intake and one of them goes to the radiator. Depending on what you're running, the hoses will go in different places. But so that's just something else to the list. It's gonna need a heater core because it's gonna be getting cold soon. I'm sure you're gonna be wanting to drive it in the winter, or at least fire it up in the winter, and you gotta have heat. So I tied up some more stuff. I'm gonna have to pull this header back off. Something's up with the header gasket, so I'm gonna have to pull that header back off there and readjust it or something. And I got some transmission fluid in it. I got the transmission leak stopped. It is charging at the alternator. It's like 14 volts. That's good. I got to pull the radiator shroud back off and put on the power steering pump and the AC compressor, and do some wiring work too. So, but I sure hate I got to pull this heater box off now, but it is what it is. So we'll get it done. So we got a heater core on order for this thing. I got up under there, checked the gas tank. The gas tank on the passenger side is bad, and the gas tank on the driver's side is missing. But I did find some fuel tank parts for the driver's side in the bed of the truck. So these are the straps, and it's like a cover that's connected to a strap on the gas tank, and that is the filler neck. So they took the driver's side gas tank out for some reason. I don't know if it was bad or they just used it in another truck or something. He got this truck like this. So I pulled the back wheels off and found out that it needs rear axle seals. This side really bad. And it also needs wheel cylinders and brake shoes. This drum is completely saturated. I don't know, it might can be cleaned up and turned. So it's gonna need rear brakes done all over, on both sides. This drum here needs to be cleaned. I cleaned it up, see how bad it is. But yeah, I don't know if you can see, I got the tire all in there. So yeah, it's gonna need complete brake job really for the front and the back. And it's gonna need a master cylinder. So I say do the front and rear brake hoses. So yeah, it's gonna need a lot. So I'm just gonna end this video here because we're gonna have to order some stuff. It's gonna take me some time to get this truck where it's drivable. Like I say, we're still waiting on the gear shift linkage, and and then now I gotta tear down the heater box, put the heater core in. That's gonna take a couple hours, and then doing the rear end, that's another couple hours. So I don't want to drag this video out to 2 or 3 hours. So I'm just gonna end it here. Y'all just stay tuned for the truck. I got some other projects to work on. On the second channel, I got to start playing with these dirt bikes I got. That's one of them. And I got the engine out of it, got it cleaned out and inspected. Got some parts for it. So that'll be on the second channel. So I'm just gonna wait till all the stuff come in and work on this thing a little bit at a time to get it back up and going. And we'll go from there. So y'all like, share, subscribe as always. The holidays are coming up. So y'all be safe. Hope y'all have a safe and blessed holiday. We got Thanksgiving and then Christmas. So pretty sure y'all probably see the truck again before that, for those holidays, possibly. But yeah, y'all be safe, like, share, subscribe, and leave the comments. And thank you to all the new subscribers that has joined the channel, joined the RPM Auto family. And thank you to all the subscribers that's been with me the whole year. I say the year's coming to an end, so it's gonna be 2026 pretty soon. And a lot of stuff can come up as projects here. So like I say, y'all just stay tuned and we'll go from there. So y'all have a good one. I'm gonna get off here, start ordering some parts for this thing, and we'll see y'all later. Just be looking out for some stuff on the Instagram channel or Instagram page. That's RPM Auto 4 on Instagram. I'll put it up on the screen. I might be throwing out some tidbit updates on here in the YouTube community post and Instagram post and the Facebook page, RPM Auto Motor, I believe that's what it is. I'll put it up on the screen. But anyway, y'all have a good one.